Tonight, you will open a fridge. You will scan 3 shelves in 10 seconds. You will pick something wrapped in plastic and heat it in a machine. It feels normal. But the real answer is far stranger. For most of human history, none of that existed. Not the fridge, not the certainty that dinner would even show up. So what did your ancestors actually eat every day for hundreds of thousands of years? It depended on where you woke up. Forget the image of a man dragging home a mammoth leg. Anthropologist Richard Lee studied the Zhuangzi people of the Kalahari in the 1960s. He found that meat was rare, plants were constant. Gathered foods like mongongo nuts and roots made up most daily calories. Hunting often failed. Gathering almost never did. But it wasn't the same everywhere. Coastal groups ate shellfish and fish nearly daily. Arctic peoples had almost no plants, so they lived on fat and meat, sometimes over 80% animal calories. In tropical forests, insects weren't a delicacy. They were a staple rich in fat, and protein plants couldn't offer. Your ancestors weren't following one diet. They were reading their environment and adapting. Meals weren't 3 neat sittings either. They came whenever food appeared, sometimes nothing for a day, sometimes an entire fruit tree eaten before it spoiled. Feast, then famine, over and over for generations. That rhythm shaped biology. Researcher Loren Cordain studied hunter-gatherer diets across dozens of societies. He found wild variation in fat, protein, and carbs, but one shared trait. Almost none were dense in sugar. Honey existed, but bees guarded it, and it appeared only a few weeks a year. A sugar rush was rare and seasonal, not a daily option at a gas station. Your brain evolved inside that scarcity. When your ancestors found something sweet, dopamine surged, memory sharpened. That reward system kept them alive in an unpredictable world. So what happens when that same ancient reward system meets a modern convenience store? Nothing about your dopamine circuitry has changed in 10,000 years, but everything around it has. The sugar that once appeared for 3 weeks a year now sits on every shelf, every hour. Your brain still treats each bite like a rare win. It isn't rare anymore. That mismatch is part of why a craving can feel less like a choice and more like an old switch flipping. There's a deeper layer, too. Around 2 million years ago, hominin brains began growing rapidly. Harvard primatologist Richard Wrangham argues the real trigger wasn't meat. It was fire. Cooked food yields far more usable energy than raw food, since the body spends less effort digesting it. That extra energy, he suggests, is what allowed the brain to grow as large as it did, since brain tissue is metabolically expensive to run. Think about what that means. The ability you're using right now to read, to follow this idea, may exist partly because someone, long ago, kept a fire burning long enough to cook a root. And here's the twist. Ancient diets were often more diverse than modern ones. Some hunter-gatherer societies ate over 100 plant and animal species across a year. Many modern diets revolve around fewer than 20 core ingredients, repeated in different shapes and packaging. That diversity mattered. A failed harvest of one plant wasn't a disaster because dozens of other sources remained. Resilience was built into the diet itself. So what did ancient humans actually eat every day? Not one thing. Not a template you can buy in a book. They ate the answer to a constant question. What does this place in this season offer a body that needs to survive until tomorrow? What stayed constant wasn't the food. It was the uncertainty. Your cravings, your reward system, all of it was built inside that uncertainty. Tonight, you will open a fridge, 3 shelves, 10 seconds. But now you'll know what that 10 seconds is built on. 2 million years of scarcity, and a brain that still thinks every sweet bite is a rare discovery the hunt has already ended.